This is Stranger Than Fiction News broadcasting live. So we're covering the NASA war document for the time being, and we're getting really to the good stuff here. So here are some of their volumetric weapons, EMP, information networks, warfare, psychological warfare, RF. So they just kind of dropped that in there, you know. RF, ladies and gentlemen. Volumetric weaponry. This is a weapons document from the Men in Black agency. And RF is radio frequency. Radio frequency. There's quite a bit of talk about that in this document. So that can also be, that's also known as EMF or ELF. Your ELF towers, your cell phone towers, your death towers. There's a reason why there's like 100 per square mile these days. MW RF weaponry. So it wasn't just a mention here. There's a whole page to it. Microwave radio frequency. So pretty much like all of the cell phone towers and radar are in the microwave spectrum, and radio waves tend to be much longer, super long in fact. But what it's telling you here is that every cell phone tower, every radio tower, television transmission tower, and in the big cities they're huge. They're huge. It's like a digital Tower of Babel. But they're huge and they're weaponized. They are weaponized. Get it through your head. Most of you know that, but for those that don't, get it through your head. Those cell phone towers are weaponized towers for contingencies. In case something happens, an outbreak, an invasion, they can turn them up, crank them up, or for a takeover. You know, they're setting up a system of turnkey tyranny so that, you know, when a Hitler type tyrant comes into office, they just turn the key and it's instant tyranny. And you know, in other documents that we've seen, they've, you know, figured out the frequency to just basically give people an instant heart attack. And it doesn't have to be high powered. It's tuning in, like on your radio dial. So it doesn't have to be like all of a sudden they bring in like you know, a megawatt generator for that site. They just have to tune it in. And there's been quite a bit of research since the 1950s and 60s on all of this stuff, and some of it has kind of been, you know, categorized as psychotronic weaponry, synthetic telepathy, silent sounds, or the silent sound spread spectrum. And you know, there's so much research there, and people think, oh no, you know, that can't happen. No. It's funny kind of like chatting like the sheeple sometimes, because it's just like, you know, they can't handle it, and so why bother? But effects of low power microwaves, behavioral performance, seizures, major alterations of brain function. They can increase or probably decrease brain flow, and you know, it can kill. Interactions between low power microwatts and brain function. Low power, so they don't need the megawatt power supplies they got running up to these towers. Not for communications, and not to kill people. So, you know, they might be able to do like 3 or 4 different things with this infrastructure. Here's another very interesting headline. Often fingerprint-less bio archipelago. Like a chain of events, an island, whatever. But I think what's very or most interesting here is fingerprint-less. So this is the basis for the silent weapons doctrine. And the fight is ongoing and aggressive. If anybody been to Drudge Report the last 48 hours and have noticed you getting redirected to a porn site, there is an active campaign going. That's probably more on the information war, psy-war aspect, but it's all related. So here are some of the examples of their fingerprintless attacks. So like something happens and you have no idea why or who. So bacteria, viruses, prions, boy, we forget what that is from biology. We'll have to look that up. Parasites, fungi, carcinogens. This is a big one, and we're going to get back into this because, and you know, if you've been following the page and you saw the article we put up yesterday on like this Chrome 6 agent that's found in the majority of the water supply in America, which is highly carcinogenic. Like, boom, in your face, in black and white, in the mainstream media, they're flipping out. And this is just like a couple weeks after the big Teflon scare. The, like, you know, they ordered like hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people to quit drinking the tap water in certain areas because of these chemicals. And that's on top of everything else, the lead that's in the water everywhere, you know. But this is active, it's ongoing, it's Georgia Guidestones, it's Bohemian Grove. So we got toxins, hormones, regulators, so this is all the gender bending. I mean, people are being attacked on every front possible. And so, full spectrum, they're going to get who they can, how they can. Genomic, I think like this is kind of tied into viruses because now they can basically engineer viruses that will attack a certain phenotype, and a phenotype is just basically kind of like a physical description. So they can just kind of train it to attack like all people with dark hair or blue eyes or, you know, rosy skin or, you know, certain genetic markers. Binary agents distributed via imported products, and this you can change this adjective imported to like incorporated products from like corporations, but vitamins, clothing, food, everything can be tainted. Everything you buy can be tainted with some sort of binary agent. And normally binary agent kind of like means that it's setting up for the kill. And this kind of gets into cocktail effects, synergistic effects. So like, you know, if they're targeting certain types of people, they'll blanket the area with like, you know, agent A and agent B, and they'll do their best to kind of like make sure that the targets are exposed to both, whereas most of the other people will just kind of be exposed to one or the other. This is another kind of like silent weapons doctrine, but as patriots and truthers, we should all be very aware of this phenom because everybody is being targeted. Everybody's on a red list that is anywhere near awake. They're looking to wipe out everybody, but for sure they're going to wipe out like anybody who's close to being awake first. Here's something very interesting: antimatter. What have we covered that has antimatter in it recently? Bueller, CERN. Yes, CERN. CERN is a huge antimatter factory. That's what the whole thing is basically right now. Most of it. You know, they're doing some research obviously, but it's an active, highly developed, highly advanced antimatter production facility. And so they have anti-hydrogen, anti-helium, and who knows what else they've got. And of course, here it is listed at the very top of the most